All right, students, this is the answer key for test number 2. Feel free to stop by my office hours to talk about your test if you have questions about the ones that you got incorrect. For number 1, we'll set up a Pythagorean theorem problem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. What we're looking for is this side. The 21 is the hypotenuse. That must be c. 8 and x can go in any order you like. 21 squared is 441. 8 squared is 64. Now subtract. (441 minus 64). And then the final step is the square root. We'll take the square root of 377 and we'll round this to the nearest thousandth. My calculator says 19.4164 to the nearest thousandth. Since that number is small, we'll make that 19.416 inches. Got it. Here comes number 2. Here's the side we're looking for. Here's my Pythagorean theorem. The side across from the right angle is x, and that must be plugged in for c. Put the 9 and the 7 in any order you like. 9 squared is 81. 7 squared is 49. Let's add 81 to 49. Then take the square root. And round it to the nearest thousandth. Since this number is large, we'll round that up to 11.402. That was in feet. For the next 2 problems, I am to write a proportion, solve the proportion, and as always, label that answer. Let's get that proportion ready. A standard dose of antibiotic is 4 cubic centimeters for every 25 pounds of body weight. At this rate, find the standard dose for a 130-pound woman. I have pounds in the bottom, and 130 is in pounds. My job is to find the standard dose. That's in cubic centimeters. Now cross multiply. 25 times n and 4 times 130. Four times 130 is 520. And when I divide by 25, I get 20.8 cubic centimeters. Nice. Again, let's get that proportion ready. A Toyota Camry averages 252 miles on 9 gallons of gas. 252 miles on 9 gallons of gas. At this rate, how far could you travel on 12 gallons? I have gallons in the bottom. Question is, how far can I travel? That's in miles. Now cross product. 9 times n, 252 times 12. And when I divide by 9, you can travel 336 miles on that 12 gallons of gas. For full credit, I must translate into an equation and solve. In number 5, you know I like to start with the equal sign. The only thing after the equal sign is 26. Before the equal sign, I need 4 times a number added to 6. There's added to 6. 4 times a number added to 6. Looks like that. Now solve. When I divide, I get a final answer of 5. Again on number 6, let's start with the equal sign. Is equal to. That's my equal sign. The only thing after the equal sign is a 6. Now before the equal sign, here's the phrase that comes up so often. Twice the sum. That tells me parentheses. There's a sum. There's twice the sum. Twice the sum of a number and 5. There's the sum of a number and 5. There's twice the sum of a number and 5. Now distribute the 2. 2 times n, 2 times 5. 2 times n, 2 times 5. Inverse of addition is subtraction. And when I divide, my final answer is -2. To change a decimal into a fraction, I'll write 675 in the top, and then count the place values. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the number of zeros that goes in the bottom. Now my answer must be in simplest form, which means reduce. I know these are both divisible by 25. 675 divided by 25 is 27, while 1,000 divided by 25 is 40. Same process. Put the 8 in the top, count the place values. There's 1, which means 1 0 in the bottom. Now reduce. 8 and 10 are both divisible by 2. So we like 4/5 as a good final answer. To change a fraction into a decimal, we'll start by dividing the numerator, 7, divided by the denominator, 11. And I get 0.6363 repeating. Now my final answer is to be rounded to the nearest tenth. That's one place value. So I check this place value, and since that 3 is small, that remains 0.6. There's the correct answer, rounded to the nearest tenth. For 22 over 25, we'll type in 22 divided by 25. There's what my calculator gives me for an answer. Now rounded to the nearest tenth, that's one place value. This number is large, so rounded to the nearest tenth, we round up to 0.9. To change a percentage into a fraction, percents are always out of 100. 35% means 35 out of 100. Simplest form means reduce. So divide by 5 and divide by 5. 35 divided by 5 is 7. 100 divided by 5 is 20. 35% is the same as 7/20. For number 12, to change a percent into a fraction, we are always out of 100. 4% means 4 out of 100. These are both divisible by 4, giving me a final answer of 1/25. To change a fraction into a percentage, we start by dividing. We'll go 8 divided by 20, which is 0.4. Then to change that into a percentage, we move this decimal point twice. Once, twice. Now when I move it twice, I have room here for another 0 before the decimal point. 8 out of 20 is the same as 40%. 22 out of 25, divide 22 by 25. Then move that decimal point 2 spots to the right. Is 88%.